Thank you so much, Elak. They always complain, right? They give me 20 minutes, and then they say, oh my gosh, you're going on and on and on. And you know, Dr. Joe, it was not me. Are you keeping count of the time? All right. It is such a pleasure to be here, all of you. I started August 14th of 2023. So I've just completed my 1-year anniversary. This was this past Wednesday. And to say that it has been a whirlwind and the most gratifying, rewarding journey is an understatement. I have been on the road pretty much for the last year or so. And I travel almost 7 days a week, if not more. And cumulatively, probably in the last year, I have been in town for about 3 weeks in total. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And I've been to, this is my 5th family seminar, patient family seminar in a year. I've been to 7 regional community workshops. And I've probably met close to about, I would say, 1,500 to 1,700 people, one-on-one across the country and internationally. I was in Madrid. We have a global myeloma action network. And you all heard about the International Myeloma Working Group. I met our clinicians, met our European partners, and it has just been fantastic. Yesterday morning when I woke up, I felt a little bit different. These are long days. We do a lot of work. We are out there meeting a lot of people, doing what we are supposed to do for the IMF. And while I was in Minneapolis, while I was in Boca this year, while I was in other states, cities, I walk into a room just like this, and I have to introduce myself. They don't know me. I have to introduce my work. I have to introduce my team, talk a lot about, and I have trepidation, right? Are these people going to like me, not going to like me? How is this all going to shake out? Am I going to see them again? If I call them, are they going to pick up my phone call? If I email them, are they going to respond? Yesterday morning, I woke up at 5:30, and I looked at myself. I felt very different. I was like, wow, what is going on? I was really tired Thursday night. Why am I feeling this way? Can any of you guess why that was the case? I was roaring with energy, extremely excited to be here with all of you. Anybody wants to take a guess why that was the case? Full moon. Home court advantage, y'all. Los Angeles, this is home for me. I am with my people. I pretty much know 80% of the folks in this room. And the rest 20, I'm going around meeting all of you, right? It was fantastic, very exciting. And for the 20% who don't know me, I'm going to introduce myself now. I am the Vice President of Development for the International Myeloma Foundation. I've been here for about a year. My job is to secure philanthropic support and resources for the IMF through a variety of diverse mechanisms. And I'll talk a little bit about what that is in a second. I am not alone in what I do. I have a fantastic team that does this work with me. And I have them here right now. Matt and Kate, can you actually stand up? They're right in the back. And I also have Kim, who is not here today with us. She had to be at a wedding, her best friend's wedding. I also have somebody by the name of Amira Limayo, who's been with the IMF for a very long time. Amira, can you actually stand up? There she is. Amira helps us with our grants and foundations. And our team is growing. We have a lot of work to do. I cannot do this alone. I cannot do this just with executive leadership at the IMF. I cannot do this just with my team. I need each and every one of you. I need each and one patient across the country, across the world, care partners, clinicians, nurses, anybody who cares about myeloma to be working with the IMF on this. I also have the incredible honor of working with dedicated volunteers from across the US and from across the globe. And you are all going to be that very soon if you aren't already. So what are the 3 ways for us to engage with the IMF? First and foremost, of course, is philanthropical. We are a nonprofit organization. I've had conversations with a lot of you at the reception throughout the course of this last couple of days. How do you guys do this? We are part of other boards. We are part of other organizations. We have family members who have other sorts of cancers. No other organizations has patient family seminars, convenings, conferences like you do. We bring you here to the Hilton Universal. We make sure you're fed. We make sure you're taken care of. We are a patient-centric organization. But to do this, we don't climb up the tree to get the money, right? Somebody has to ensure that we are getting the resources to continue to advance our mission, our work, and our efforts. So philanthropy is extremely, extremely important. And you can obviously, there are multiple ways for you to do this. And I'll get into a little detail as I'm going along. Volunteering is also very important. I was talking to a patient who was here from San Diego this morning, newly diagnosed, she's obviously still working full-time. Not everybody, just like myeloma affects everybody very disparately, I'm not looking at everyone in this room and saying, you all have to open up your wallet, open up your checkbooks, write a check. There are multiple ways for you to step forward and help us advance our work. If you have skill sets, you have all been either, financial analyst, a lawyer, you're a venture capitalist, you're accomplished. So there are skills that you have in your at your disposal. You can reach out to me, reach out to anybody at the IMF and say, hey, I'm interested in this. I heard ELAC speak about data initiatives that you have going on at the IMF. You have a fantastic grassroots advocacy program that's coming up. I would like to lend my voice, my talents, and my skills. You can also help the IMF be a volunteer in terms of talking to other patients, other care partners, and again, I'll get into a little bit of detail with all of that. Intellectual capacity, as ELAC mentioned to you, we are still transforming. We are at a critical juncture at the institution right now. We are really revamping what is it that our board of directors could look like. What kind of people do we have on the board? We are looking at pipeline building even for the board. We are at the point of thinking through a patient advisory council. We are thinking about a president's advisory council. This is all making sure people are coming in one step at a time into the organization. Typically at the reception on the Friday evening, I have an opportunity to do an informal talk with Robin Toohey and with ELAC. But yesterday, all of you were just guzzling that wine from the bar, didn't have a chance. We were like, let them all enjoy and just connect with each other. But ELAC didn't become the president and CEO of the IMF like waking up one day because of his skills. He was diagnosed at the age of 25, as you all heard. He found a support group in Dallas. He became a support group leader. He was heavily, heavily involved with the IMF. He went to all sorts of patient advocacy programs. He went to American Society for Hematologists that happens across the country. It's been happening in San Diego, being an advocate for the patients, on behalf of the patients, for himself. And then he became a member of our IMF board of directors. I think it was in 2015. And in 2021, the board unanimously voted him to become our president and CEO. You have heard from Robin Toohey. She didn't become the vice president of support groups waking up one day. Her husband, Michael Toohey, was a patient. They got on, loaded their dogs, their kids, into a vehicle, went around the country, city to city, establishing a support group. And through the continuum of years, they have been engaged with us for how many years now, Robin and Michael? Since 2001, 24 years. Slowly through the ranks, they know everybody in the myeloma community. And Robin said, I want to make my passion into work. She's leading our support groups across the country now. So there are multiple ways for you to come closer and closer with the IMF and help us move the needle forward. So let me talk a little bit about philanthropy, right? Because this is obviously the most critical part. When I came onto the IMF a year ago, our budget is anywhere, depending upon the year, depending upon the programs, initiatives, projects, and what we have going on, could vary between $15 and $18 million. About 80% or 85% of that actually comes from, thankfully, to our Pharma Partners. We are very, very grateful to them. They help us. Let's give our Pharma Partners a hand, actually. We are very grateful for them because they do sponsor us for all these events, and they make this possible. But, myeloma is disparate. Anything can happen any day. Pharma, as much as we love them, they love us. They do this. Philanthropy helps us to move the needle with unrestricted funding, right? We are visionary. There are bold ideas for us. We want to accomplish a lot in this next 10 years. One of the things that you may or may not hear from ELAC, from Dr. Joe, and from the IMF leadership, we are really accelerating our efforts to find a cure. We want to make sure the fathers, the sons, the mothers, the daughter-in-laws, sitting in this room who are patients, continue to live and enjoy life to the fullest, and we don't want to lose any of that. We want them with us. But it's not going to take a miracle. It's going to take science. It's going to take research, and research and science requires money, right? So we need the community to step forward. How are we going to accomplish this? So one way you can do this, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm interested, but I don't have that kind of resources, but I do want to do something for the IMF. The peer-to-peer fundraising model is very effective. This is something where you can start from scratch, from your idea, something that you're already doing, maybe every year during your birthday or your wedding anniversary, your kid's anniversary, something that you do in the summer, for fun in your community. You can turn that into a fundraiser. I have got Kent Oliver in the room here somewhere. Kent, can you put up your hand? There's Kent. Kent is a 10-year myeloma patient, survivor now, and from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. For the last 10 years, Kent has been organizing an event called Laughs for Life in Hattiesburg. I was just there 3 weeks ago. That event got 1,000 people from his community. It's a comedy celebration. He had a VIP reception with 250 people. These are people that he's grown up with, lived with, worked with, people who care about him. I often get questions from our community. I want to do this for a patient, but I don't want to offer because I don't know how they're going to take it. It is sensitive. People in your family, in your network, in your work life, they want to help you. When you ask them to support you, you're not taking away anything. You're giving them the opportunity to do something for you. So get them along in the ride. Make them feel a part of your journey. You don't have to do this alone, right? So a peer-to-peer fundraising model is fantastic. It could be something you organizing just a dinner at your home, and saying, hey, 10 people come, $100 per person. Let me talk to Sylvia. I'll bring somebody from the IMF, talk to you a little bit about what myeloma is, what I'm going through, and then we'll have a fun time. There is Ron and Sheri Pask in the room. Ron and Sheri, can you put up your hand? There you go. That's Ron and Sheri Pask. They're here from Clark, New Jersey. For the last 12 years, Ron and Sheri have been hosting a 5K run walk called Miracles for Myeloma in Clark, New Jersey. They raise funding from that, and they actually give it for a Brian D. Novis senior or junior grant that helps us move the needle on research. So, it is very noble. They want to do this. They want to make a difference. They empower their community to come join them in this journey. So, again, this is your idea. You could do anything. You can organize a dance-a-thon. You could organize a concert. You can organize a bake sale. I was just talking to a lady yesterday. It's her 5th anniversary from a stem cell transplant this December. That's around her birthday. And she said, hey, Sylvia, I really want to, I do a 5K for another organization. And hearing you speak in Charlotte, I just realized, why am I doing all of this for another organization? I want to do the same 5K run walk, get my community, I'll organize it, and we'll support the IMF, right? So anything that you're already doing, we can help you amplify that even more. Yes, that's right. Oh, I was correct. We also have something, peer-to-peer fundraising is, again, not everybody's cup of tea, right? It does require some amount of work, both from you and from us. We have to set up a web page, blah, 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 XYZ. Not everybody has the time, energy to do that. You could simply give us a check. You could start with as less as $25 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month, make a $1,000 commitment a year. You probably go to Starbucks, right? Your Starbucks maybe costs even more than that if you get 2 caramel latte with whatever toppings you all get, right, at Starbucks. So allocate that money to the IMF. Say, you know what? I'm going to make this commitment. I'm going to give $100, $200, $250, but make it a recurring donation for us. Because when we know we can count on you month after month, year after year, we know we have that funding that we can allocate to something that is the institution's greatest needs. We have something called the Hope Society. Kate Fitzpatrick, who you just stood up and you've already probably met, leads our monthly and annual giving program. Please talk to her. We are really revamping. There are benefits associated with monthly and annual giving that you can actually take advantage of. Last but not the least, the transformative gifts. These are the gifts that's the moonshot ideas. We have stuff that we really want to do with research. There is stuff that we really want to do with our support groups. There are stuff that we really want to do with advocacy. There's things that we want to do with Empower and our education. So these need a lot of more commitment. These require bold visionaries who are in this room, listening to me say about all this stuff. You've heard about us speak about Black Swan Research Initiative that was launched in 2016. It was somebody like yourself who was sitting in this room, got an idea, spoke to the leadership at that time and said, hey, your research portfolio is actually not that great. I want to do something. What are some of the things IMF wants to accomplish, and where are the gaps, and how can I come in and fill the gap? This individual gave us a transformative gift at that time, a multi-year pledge. We were able to launch the Black Swan Research Initiative, and because of the Black Swan Research Initiative, we now have the ACCENT trial, the CISA trial, the iStop-MM trial. It completely blew and knocked us out of the park, right? So you just never know what your support can help us get to. Again, this is something that you can have a conversation with me. It starts off, and you can keep thinking. It is not an overnight thing. We are partners in this together. I've already spoken to you about Laughs for Life. Kent has been doing this for 8 years. That is, again, that is the amount that the IMF has been a beneficiary of. He's raised a lot more. I spoke to you about Miracles for Myeloma. Ron and Sheri have been doing this for about 12 years. I am leading the inaugural cycling expedition in Iceland in a couple of weeks. This is a group of fundraisers who are patients, care partners, clinicians, and nurses. I know a lot of you heard, and a lot of you spoke to me about this. Some of you are cyclists, right? You all cycle every weekend. You're doing this for fun anyways. You're doing 35, 40 miles. Come talk to me. If you're doing something like this for your hobby, you want to fundraise, you have a great community, you have a network that will back you up, we will help you get set up. It's a very fun event. This year is 6 nights and 7 days. It's a jam-packed schedule. Each of these participants bike for about 40 to 60 miles a day. They get to visit the Decode Genetics Lab at the University of Iceland. They get to hear from Dr. Kristensen Sigurdur, who's one of our scientific advisory board members in terms of how the research in Iceland is going, how the partnership is working. So it's really, really excited. We do have a wait list for next year, but we might do it twice next year because of the interest we are getting. So if any of you avid cyclists in the room, come talk to me. I would love to have you, because yours truly goes, but doesn't bike. I only sit on the bike for photo opportunities, okay? I already spoke to you a little bit about the monthly and annual giving. So did speak to you about the Black Swan Research Initiative. Something that I want to put a plug in for all of you is the aspect of legacy giving. While you're going through your myeloma journey, you're probably not that liquid. You're doing a lot of planning for yourself, for your family, for your near and dear ones, your grandkids, depending upon where you're in your life. But some of you do have assets. It could be your estate, it could be stock options, it could be something that you've invested while you had a flourishing, thriving, corporate career. Please talk to me. We would love to be a part of your philanthropic priority. Include the International Myeloma Foundation as part of your will. Please talk to me about your IRA distribution. It's tax deductible, because if you cash out your IRA, it's very high tax. If you give it to a nonprofit like us, you don't get taxed on it. So it's a great way for you to cash out your IRA and actually make IMF the beneficiary of it. So a lot of you are also still employed. You're working. We would love for you to talk to your employer and see if there's a matching gift option at your organization. Some employers match you one-on-one. Some employers match you 2-to-1. Whatever you give, they actually double up that gift for you. So please go back and say, hey, I would love to give something to the IMF. Is there an option? Talk to your HR beneficiary, talk to your HR person, and they should be able to support you. We have an Iceland Cycling Expedition participant, and his company, a lot of his co-workers from his company actually donated to his fundraiser. And then the organization found out about it, and now they're actually matching all the people from his organization who supported him. They're doing matching gifts for that. So, we actually multiplied that gift, his support, his participation, by threefold, if you know what I mean. I do want to speak a little bit about a couple of things that's coming up this year. How many of you here are actually part of the support group here? Can you all raise your hands? Okay, that's quite a good chunk, Robin. Yeah. So it's our support group leadership anniversary, summit's 25th anniversary here. We are running a fundraising campaign to help Robin and her team scale on her work, make sure she's able to do all the stuff that she wants to really accomplish. Compared to what they do for all the 160 support groups across the country, this goal is very minimal, right? This should be 3 times more but this is a test run. And we have actually, as of yesterday, we have raised $240,000 towards the $250,000. Yeah. So congratulations, Robin.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks to all the people that listen to you and work with you and make these things happen.
Indeed. Every dollar that has come through, I had a conversation with Malcolm, I think now about a month and a half ago. Malcolm does the San Fernando Valley Support Group fundraiser every year. I said, hey, Malcolm, you know the Support Group Leaders Summit is having its 25th anniversary. We're doing a fundraising campaign. Would you be willing to direct your support group fundraiser towards this? He said, absolutely. And he's been on it. I'm sure all his members from the support group probably have gotten multiple hits from Malcolm already to support his fundraiser. But there are things that you can do. Yesterday, we spoke to somebody who's not able to participate in a fundraiser like this, but they allocated a significant chunk of their assets to ensure that is going towards this campaign. Every dollar matters towards what we are trying to accomplish. Last but not the least, I know I probably have surpassed my time. Dr. Joe, team, yeah, a lot? Okay, no worries, it's okay. Listen, if I don't speak, you're not going to be able to do this anyways, right? So this is important, okay? This is very, very important. At your tables, if you see, there is a QR code, okay? We are not asking you to make a gift. Please, this is not a fundraiser event, but if any of you are moved by me, by what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, scan that QR code, make a gift today to the IMF. We are about 1.5 months away from hitting our fiscal year-end goal. I want to be able to tell the president and CEO, I have raised as much money as possible for the IMF, and all of your support is going to make a huge difference. There is also a QR code on your table. If you want to support the Support Group Leaders 25th anniversary campaign, you can also make a gift to that. The choice is yours. I always say at the IMF, there's something for everybody. It's like a Chinese buffet. You walk in, you can have the wonton, the noodle, the fried rice, the chicken, whatever, okay? We have research, support, advocacy, and education. You can also support any of these pillars. Whatever your passion is, whatever has changed and transformed your life, where you think you want to make a difference and pay it forward, talk to any of us, and we are here to partner with you. Thank you for listening.